Let me know when we're live. What's up, everybody? Those of you that are watching us on the live stream, thank you for joining us. We are about to get into qualifying. As you guys that are watching are familiar with qualifying, it's a necessary evil, and it's going to be a back-to-back style qualifying. So each driver is going to get back-to-back runs, and the judges are going to take the better of those two runs. We have about, I don't know, between 20 and 30 drivers. I think it was like around 22, 23 drivers, and we're going to have to weed all but 16 out in order to get our top 16 competition for later on. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, Drift Sessions with all your friends and family, especially those of you that may have family that they're unable to make it to an event. It's just been awesome working with Nick Swan and his crew, allowing us to kind of give you this test stream, as you will. Yes, it is a live stream, but it's what I told somebody else, I think, on our podcast last night. This is a carry-on style live stream, meaning that we could only bring what we could carry on the plane. So like I said, this is a test stream. If Holley LS Fest likes it, then hopefully we'll get a little more budget in there so we can actually give you a more complete live stream. But this is good. It's good for us to be able to come out to each track this year, test it out. I believe Kentucky is going to be a little more elaborate, but you got to just stay tuned. We want to thank you guys for just being patient, hanging out. Those of you that are watching the live stream, just tune in. We are about to start our qualifying for the top 16 later on this evening. Schedule change has been a little different. We had some lightning yesterday, and Texas Motor Speedway doesn't allow us to run an event if there's lightning strikes within 8 miles. So we had to basically squash that first round of competition, or I'm sorry, first round of practice, in order to get these drivers time. Today we got a little more time, had to move the schedule around, but it's been a great day. Beautiful weather today, and temperature's good. I don't see any rain clouds. It's good, looking good. Hopefully you guys can make it out here one time. I'll tell you one thing about Texas Motor Speedway. It's been beautiful. Just the layout really reminds me of the Nopi National days. If those of you guys that have been around long enough know, Nopi Nationals basically all held down inside that oval, and that's what we are. We're in the middle of the Texas Speedway oval, and there's a huge crowd out here today. It's pretty cool, man. I'm enjoying it. Of course, Captain Ben, he's fiercely working behind the scenes. He is my co-pilot today, but he's definitely focused on getting all the camera angles. We have a couple more camera angles this time than we did at Vegas. And as you can see at the start line, we're just waiting for the drivers to get lined up. We just finished practice. We're practicing for about an hour. And it's been an interesting mix of drivers between high horsepower, lower horsepower guys, the more experienced drivers, and the newer to competition drivers. But all the drivers have been doing a great job. Everybody's been having a great time. What's really cool is they've been able to utilize the pits for the NASCAR. So the drivers actually got to keep their cars in a garage, so pretty nice. It does look like we are starting to get some vehicles pulled up to the line, so I'm going to be two-fisted the microphones. I got to do the live announcing and the live stream announcing, so those of you guys that are watching on the live stream, please enjoy. Yeah. You ready, right, Ben? All right, ladies and gentlemen, looks like we're about ready to start this qualifying portion of the Tire Streets Drift Challenge. Once again, shout out to Holley LS Fest Texas 2023, brought to you by eBay Motors. So many people coming together to bridge the gap between all these different motorsports, be able to have a place where we can all get together and just bridge that gap. Those of you guys that have never seen drifting, you're in for a treat. We are starting qualifying, and it looks like we're getting cars lined up. As you see down at the end of the track, the drivers are going to utilize a burnout box in order to get their tires warmed up. A lot of these drivers are using brand new tires every time. So Up first, looks like we have Jason Delahaye. Jason Delahaye coming to us from Fort Worth, Texas. About 15 years of competitive experience. And let's see how he does as he makes his way down the course. He's got to initiate by that initiation cone. Nice, getting it sideways. Past that first inside clip, second inside clip, working his way through that first outside zone. Nice angle, getting on the throttle. Nice to see that smoke coming out. Straighten out just a little bit before that second outside zone. Back on the throttle. Nice run. He was struggling a little bit during practice, but it looks like he got those bugs worked out. Give it up for Jason Delahaye, coming to us from Fort Worth, Texas. That car is for sale, so if you're looking for a vehicle, he's got a ton of Holley products. He's got EFI, digital dash. He's using 120-pound fuel injectors, and he's rocking a whole bunch. I mean, the list goes on and on. Holley high ram intake. And we asked him, is there anything else you want the crowds to know? He said, special thanks to my title sponsor, DY Concrete Pumps, located south of Dallas, Fort Worth, and Alvarado, Texas. So shout out to the sponsors, helping these drivers be able to keep their cars running and help ease that burden of finances. And that 1989 Nissan Skyline 6.0, he's about 700 horsepower underneath the hood of that vehicle. And you can see it when he puts the hammer down. That smoke just starts to billow out of the back. He said his victory plans, if he wins LS Fest, Texas, he's going to take his crew to honky-tonkin' down at the stockyards. I haven't been there yet, so I'm assuming that's a good time. But here we go. Second run of two. Jason Delahaye making his way. Nice initiation past that first inside clip. Transition. Second inside clip. Ooh, little bobble there. Flooring it. Power alley. Straighten out a little bit, still maintaining trip. Oh, no. Unfortunately, looks like he zeroed out his second run, but fortunately, he got points on his first run. So the judges are going to utilize the better of the two scores. So even though he did wash out that second run, he is going to walk away with points. And will hopefully, I'm sure he's hoping he can get his spot in that top 16 competition later on this evening. All right, looks like we have Eugene Fagelman coming up. Eugene has been doing a great job during practice. And he's been extremely consistent. We got to hang out with him last night, and just world-class driver. Here we go. Nice initiation, flicking in that little S13 truck that he's got there. Nice angle, nice speed through that first outside zone. Good transition. Second outer zone, man, putting that pedal to the metal, using every bit of that horsepower. Look at the smoke coming out of the back of that vehicle. Give it up for Eugene Fagelman, coming to us from Louisville, Texas, in that red 89 240SX. LS1 powered at about 600 horsepower, using every bit of it, as you can see. We asked him why LS Fest. He said it's festival-style events. Festival-style events have been growing tremendously, and he wanted to be a part of one that's growing like LS Fest. And he said it's also 20 minutes from his house, so he has no excuse, right? Says victory plans to continue to invest in his program. He's competing in Pro-Am, so he's just, he definitely loves the LS platform. He believes there's no replacement for displacement, and he said they're extremely efficient, super easy to work on, and have just, I mean, sky's the limit, really. He said he drives with passion. He loves to do what he does, and we can tell in his driving. Here we go. Eugene Fagelman about to pull back up to the line now. This is his second run of two. As I mentioned before, both drivers get two runs. They're going to be able to keep the higher of the two scores and hopefully secure their spot in the top 16 tandem competition later on. Here we go. Nice initiation. Bouncing off that rubber. Nice speed coming through that first outside zone. Smooth transition. Nice. Eugene doing a great job keeping it nice and fluid through the course. And here he is just laying the power down, putting that smoke out through that final outer zone. Good job, Eugene. driver's name? 10-4. All right, up next we have Jason Buchanan. Jason Buchanan has been pretty consistent during practice, so let's see how he does on his first qualifying run. Nice speed, nice angle in that little LS-powered Mazda RX-7. Let's see how he handles the last half of the course, doing a good job holding it together. Jason Buchanan coming to us from Frisco, Texas. This is, I believe, his first comp, but he says, I'm not the underdog. We asked him why LS Fest. He said he was approached at Fuel Fest, and he made a vow to hit 50 events this year. 50, is that even possible?
That's a significant amount.
Maybe that's a typo, maybe at 5. 50 events? Wow, maybe he meant 15? I don't know, 50 events?
Or 500.
That's an event, almost an event a week. Hope he has the budget. That's some money right there.
Yeah.
He's rocking a Holley Intake Terminator X. 12.5-inch dash is ordered, but didn't make it for the event, unfortunately. And we asked him if you wanted to tell anybody anything. He said, if you woke up today, you've already won.
That's inspiring.
That is inspiring. His victory plans are pay some bills. He said he's a single father, and this is his stress relief. I've been there. I know exactly what he's going through. So it's good to see he's keeping the dream alive. Jason Buchanan. And that 1989 Mazda RX-7. He's at about 300 horsepower, so he's definitely on the lower end of the spectrum when it comes to horsepower, but he's doing a great job keeping that momentum, going as fast as he can down the straight. Got to initiate. Boom, nice initiation. Past the first side's inside clip, translate second inside clip, nice. Full power, putting that power down as he transitions to that second outer zone. Back on the throttle, nice and tight. A little bobble there through that sweeper, but he's holding it together. He's going to walk away with some points.
Yeah, he's really struggling with that sweeper. The first run, you saw that he struggled leading up to it. The second run, on this run, he was able to nail the approach going into the sweeper, but then struggled midway to the sweeper. So obviously having some troubles navigating this layout.
But he's doing a great job. With only 300 horsepower, he's going to have his hands full if he makes his way into the top 16, because we've seen upwards of 1,000 horsepower out of some of these vehicles. But as you can see, he did a great job keeping that momentum up. Looks up. We have Josh McGuire up next. Josh McGuire, Sparky Built Racing. He has been doing a phenomenal job in practice, and it's been very exciting to watch him just throw down solid run after solid run. And you just see him full throttle through the course. Oh, dropping a tire, taking out that outer zone marker, but he's still in it. Bumper's hanging off, but that's okay. Those zip ties are holding on for dear life. That was his first of two. It's a pretty solid run. Once again, I want to thank you guys for joining us today. We have 3 judges up here analyzing these runs, scrutinizing every transition as these drivers make their way throughout the course. Some of the things you want to look for are the drivers staying in throttle. Are they banging that rev limiter all the way around the course? That's what we want to hear. We want to see these drivers snap the angle. What that means is when they initiate at a certain angle. We don't want to see them straighten out and then get back into angle, which would be considered a bobble. Ideally, we want these drivers to initiate at a certain angle and maintain that angle throughout the course, have nice, smooth transitions, get deep in the zones, nice and tight on the inside clips. There are 3 inside clips. There are 2 in the beginning of the track. You have first inside clip, they transition second inside clip, then the first outer zone, which is almost directly in front of us. And this is like the power alley. This is really, it's almost like the Widowmaker here, because it's a long straight, and the drivers, they can't be afraid to go fast. They just got to just put it all down, try to stretch from that first outside zone to that second outer zone, and then try to work their way around that course. Well, here we go. Josh McGuire coming to us from Austin, Texas. He's been from grassroots to FD, throwing down, nice angle. Look at that speed and that angle through that first outer zone. Nice transition. This man loves LS Fest, and we could see it. Wow, what a run for Josh McGuire. Oh, my goodness. It's a competition, folks. He says victory plans are to put money back into the program so he can drive LS Fest next month because we're going to be in Texas soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
I think he put that down when he was in Vegas.
Ah, okay.
So
yeah. He copied and pasted.
Copy and paste, buddy. Copy and
Yeah.
paste. He's rocking a Holley intake and fuel rails. Ben, what do you think about that run?
It was great, much better. The only thing, though, he did tip over that course marker that's on the cone that's on the track, but he didn't knock it out of the park, so that's the important part. And could be a thing where he just tipped it over, and then the wind just like knocked it out of the way. But for the most part, the bumpers are well. There was no bumper to worry about.
Yeah.
And talking about refunding his program, he could probably utilize a new bumper.
Yeah. Right now we have Greg Kimmo coming to what does he say? He lives in Florida, from Texas. He's from all over the place, but he is doing a great job throwing down nice solid lines there in that S13 Nissan 240, rocking about 400 horsepower, putting the car where it needs to be. He's been extremely consistent. He said he had a personal invitation, and I'm sure he's very happy to be here. He actually does media, he says. You know, he does different driver packages. He has a YouTube channel. So a lot of these drivers have a lot of experience in other areas of motorsports, right?
Yeah, we talking to some of the drivers who realize that they've kind of banded together. The media guys turned drivers, turned drifters.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
I guess they share a common bond.
Yeah. His
Whatever that may
victory
be.
plans, he said he plans on having a good time doing media. And he said, hey, if I get up there, that's cool. If not, I plan to have a good time destroying my car no matter what. And that's what we see a lot of that when drifting. These guys really are pushing their cars to the limit, breaking stuff. But one thing that's been tried and true is that LS platform. Here we go. Greg making his way down the straight. Nice speed, nice initiation. Past that first inside clip, second inside clip. Nice angle, good speed. Little bobble there, left foot braking. Nice transition into that second outer zone. Let's see how he does. Ooh, nice and tight on that inside clip. And here he goes to that final outer zone. Give it up for Greg Kimmo.
And you could tell he was excited about that run by just waving his hand out the window.
Yeah.
Which is strongly, advised against, but I think he just took advantage of the opportunity to congratulate himself on a good run like that.
Yeah, he's sponsored by Tire Streets and Renspec, helping him out, trying to build a program as he develops his skills throughout the year.
Coming up next, Grant Anderson.
Wow, there we go. Grant Anderson laying down the hammer.
Definitely looking solid throughout the course. Just coming back from the LZ World Tour over at the New Jersey area. Made it here just in time for the LS Fest Texas event here. And looking pretty good so far.
Yeah, I mean, he's coming all the way from Danbury, Connecticut, sponsored by Valvoline and G Technique. He's rocking a Holley Terminator and Sniper nitrous system. We asked him why LS. He said good power, easy, and parts are readily available. It seems to be the general theme with that LS platform. But here we go. Grant Anderson's second run in that 1997 BMW E36 at about 470 horsepower. He's using every bit of that horsepower as he passes that second inside clip. Nice and deep into that first outer zone. Good speed, making his way into that sweeper, back on the throttle. You could just see that smoke coming out using all 470 horsepower of that LS, and great job for Grant Anderson on the second run. All right, looks like we have Evan Mancarius coming up next. He's coming to us from Carlsbad, California, sponsored by Flag Motorsports, Holley, and Crown Performance. It's a black and white 2008 Chevy Corvette LS3 at about 600 horsepower. Here he comes down the straight. Nice initiation. See him struggle. Whoa, little bobble there coming through that first and second. No, and safe.
Buddy.
Safe. Wow, that's I didn't think anybody was going to get close to that, but he's an overachiever.
Yo. I mean, not only did I fear for his car, but also that light tower out there.
Wow, that's that might take note of that. Might want to relocate that later. Hasn't been an issue up until now, but Evan, man, you got one more chance to make your way up into that top 16. You only get 2 qualifying runs, and what you saw right now was a 0. So right now he has no points. So it is going to be make or break, all or nothing. If he does not get points on this board, unfortunately, he will be eliminated from competition. At about 20 or 30 or so drivers, we can only have 16. That's why we use qualifying in order to get that top 16 bracket. Evan said if he wins, he said he'd celebrate like crazy, fix anything that broke, get out again as soon as possible, keep getting better and better. All right, second run for Evan Mancarius. Coming to us from Carlsbad, California, that Flag Motorsports Holley Crown Performance Chevy Corvette. Here we go, down straight, nice initiation, looking a little better this time. Past that second, it's like, oh no!
Whoa!
Whoa, man. He likes that spot.
You can say he's consistent.
Yes, consistency is key. Unfortunately, Evan, my man, double goose eggs. We're going to have to go ahead and reset that track real quick. At least there's no damage to the vehicle. A little dirt. All right, next driver's making their way down the course.
Is that Max?
Yeah, that's Max. Mad Max Furist out there on the track right now. Nice angle through that first outer zone. Smooth transition. Max has been extremely consistent. Max, another media guy turned drifter, right? Oh, actually, I think he's always been a drifter, but definitely does a lot of media. Coming to us from Dallas, Texas. You can hit him up on the Instagrams and the Facebooks at Max_Furist. Check them out in a 1992 Nissan 240SX at about 450 horsepower with that LS2, sponsored by Tire Streets, Accelera, and BC Racing, all trying to help him with his program. A lot of these drivers, they're just making that move from grassroots to go pro, and events like LS Fest helps these drivers get that competition experience. So it's great to see Max out here. He said with the prize money, it's going to go right back into travel, entry fees, and his goal this year is to go drive with my out-of-state friends. He said he spent years filming, and he's finally glad to get behind the wheel and be competitive. And it shows because he's been consistent. He's been filming for over 10 years, but you wouldn't know it because he's throwing down nice runs. Inside clip, second inside clip. Look at his speed. Nice and deep wheel coming off the ground through that first outer zone. Nice smooth transition. Banging that throttle in through that sweeper. Nice. That's what we want to see. Working his way out of that third and final outer zone. Give it up for Max Furist. In that Tire Streets, Accelera BC Racing. Nissan 240SX, obviously LS2 powered. 450 horse. Hit him up at Max_Furist. Local boy, Dallas, Texas. We asked him why LS Fest. He said he was told to come and join the party. We got Javi Martinez up next. Javi Martinez has been on fire all weekend as well. He's coming to us from Tucson, Arizona, and he has been on fire. He's got that purple 1995 240SX, LS3 power, 700 horsepower, and you could just hear it screaming down. Nice speed, nice angle through that first outer zone, billowing that smoke, smooth transition. That's all right. We don't need that. Floor it, buddy. Work your way around that sweeper, and it's just all throttle, and you can see that smoke coming out. Wow. Give it up for Javi Martinez. Nice run. Sponsored by 41 Motorsports Field Suspension. We Don't Lift Racing. Well, I can see that. And 2F Performance. Said the car is self-built, self-driven. Said it looks like a show car, but it's built for battle. And he's going to have to battle it out because we have some heavy hitters today. But he's proven to be a force to be reckoned with today. He's rocking that Holley throttle body and an engine wiring harness. Man, Javi has been on point all through practice, doing a great job. About 700 horsepower. It looks like he's locked and loaded. I'm hearing the track is hot. If you guys are just joining us, this is the qualifying portion of the Tire Streets Drift Challenge. We're here at the Holley LS Fest 2023 here at the Texas Motor Speedway, brought to you by eBay Motors. And Javi Martinez is rocketing down the straight. Nice aggressive initiation. First inside clip. Bam! Second inside clip. Deep into that first outside zone. He is not slowing down. Nice. Coming through into that sweeper, back on the throttle. You see that smoke just coming out of the back of that vehicle. It's no wonder these guys go through a brand new set of tires every 2 or 3 runs. Wow, good job, Javi Martinez. Once again in that 41 Motorsports Field Suspension, We Don't Lift Racing, 2F Performance, all the way from Tucson, Arizona. Javi Martinez, man. He's going to be a contender right there, man. He's going to be one to watch. Up next is Kevin Gorky. Kevin Gorky, he's been doing pretty good during practice. He's coming from Houston, Texas. Got that green and black Rennspec Chevy Corvette at about 500 horsepower. Rennspec wraps, Redline Oil, Holley are his sponsors. Pretty consistent during practice. Let's see, here we go. First run at 2. Nice aggressive initiation. First inside clip, second inside clip. First outer zone, wow, just barely tapping a tire in the dirt. Nice. Using the whole track is Kevin Gorky back on the hammer through that outside sweeper and final outer zone. Ben, what do you think about that? That's a good run.
Yeah, it was good. Unfortunately, he went a bit too aggressive, knocking down one of the cones through the turns, and that's obviously going to be a deduction. But for the most part, very aggressive, very fast throughout the course. So I don't see how he's going to score low on this one. Yeah,
interesting. This driver actually came from a 2JZ power plant. He forfeited the power from the 2J and opted for an LS. He said just the horsepower and torque. He said it was a no-brainer. And obviously we can see it's been proven to be extremely reliable. And that 07 Chevy Vet, you can hit him up at kevin.rsi on the social media platforms, at kevin.rsi. Once again, another gentleman, Texas man, Houston, Texas. Here we go, run 2, nice aggressive initiation. First inner clip, second inner clip, nice angle, good speed. Whoa! Whoa!
Slow down.
Safe. Nice. Actually, it's a 0, but he got his first, he got a score on his first run.
Yeah, yeah.
So he got points on the board. That's okay. All right, our next driver, I believe, is Zach Dyson. No relation to the vacuum cleaner, I assume. Unfortunately, I don't have much information on this gentleman. So I could make some stuff up, I'm sure, but I won't. Zach Dyson's first run, what appears to be a white car.
LS powered.
LS,
V8.
well, we got LS powered. It's a V8.
Yeah, we got that.
He's from somewhere.
Or nowhere.
Or nowhere.
Incognito.
Yeah.
International man of mystery.
Yes, a man of mystery for sure.
But his driving will tell us who he is.
Yep. He's going to make himself known.
All right, here we go.
All right, making his way down the straight. Nice initiation, nice angle out the initiation. Passing both inside clips, nice and deep into that first outer zone. Dyson doing a nice smooth transition into that second outer zone and into the sweeper. Let's see if he can power his way through, and look at the smoke coming out of the back of that vehicle. He's full throttle past that final outer zone. Dyson, solid first run.
Yeah, but he did struggle throughout the midsection of the course. I saw some wavering around. Maybe he lacks a bit of the confidence that he needs to keep committed throughout the midsection of the course. But for the rest of the way, pretty good. He just needs to work up that midsection.
Right, well, he's got one more chance to do it. Nonetheless, got points on the board. There's about 20 to 30 drivers. We're going to weed out all but 16 for tonight's tandem competition. So far scheduled to start tandem practice around 6:30 and then go into competition. So you definitely want to make your way back for the tandem competition. That's what makes drifting really exciting, watching these drivers go side by side at speeds upwards of 70, 80, 90 miles an hour coming down this straight, coming full throttle, and it's very exciting, so you don't want to miss it. All right, it looks like Dyson set up for his second qualifying run, coming down the straight. Going to initiate right at the initiation count. Good job. First inside clip. Nice and tight on the second inside cut. Good speed. Kind of shallow angle, but able to maintain drift. Smooth transition into that second outer zone. Back on the throttle. As you can see, that smoke starting to billow out. Almost past that final outer zone, and off the course is Dyson. Give it up for Dyson. And I can only assume that LS-powered Nissan 240SX. Our next driver up is going to be Zach Ferris. Zach Ferris out here. He's been doing a good job in practice, coming from OKC, Oklahoma. And at Holley Simpson Racing's Radium Chevy C6 LS3 powered at about 500 horsepower, and he's on the throttle now. Nice angle coming through that first outer zone. Wow, nice transition into that second outer zone. Zach Ferris doing a really smooth transition here. Good job making his way throughout the course. Back on the throttle, nice and deep in angle as he comes out of outer zone number 3. That was a pretty good run.
Yeah, it did almost seem like he slowed down just a bit towards the end, but
well,
for the most part, he kept the speed consistent throughout.
Yeah, yeah. You can hit him up at Zach_DriftRiot or at DriftRiot_official. He said his victory plans are to buy more tires for the next event. We asked him why LS. He said overall it's most sensible, reliable, maintenance friendly, and a powerful platform to build in drifting. He's a part of Drift Riot, and he said it's a group of longtime friends who have been drifting together since 2013, so they've been together for about 10 years. Banging doors, I'm sure, event after event. And that's what he said. We're here for close tandems and to put a good show on for all the spectators and have as much fun as possible. And that's what this is. That's what LS Fest is doing a good job of, bridging that gap between motorsports, hopefully building new drift fans. Here we go. Zach Ferris initiation. Making his way throughout the course. Bam, on the throttle, using every inch of the track as he transitions into that second outer zone. Back on throttle as he makes his way through the sweeper, and you just see the smoke billowing out at the back of that vehicle, using every bit of that 500 horsepower. Coming out a little slow, but hey, it's just qualifying. You know, you don't have to set the world on fire. You just want to get some points on that board. Hit all the zones. Make sure it's exciting. Up next is Andrew Rivera. Andrew Rivera, he's been struggling a bit of vehicle. I did get a chance to catch up to him in the pit. He's been struggling a bit of vehicle. I did get a chance to catch up to him in the pits, and last night he struggled a little bit. He was able to bang out a lot of solid runs. He's sponsored by Holley EFI, Salvage to Savage, and Sicky. Here we go. And whoa, a lot of angle, holding it together, didn't spin, transitioning into that second outer zone. Oh, straightening out, back in, major bobble. Oh, unfortunately, coming out of drift around that sweeper. Pressure's on, Andrew.
And here's one of the things that, like you mentioned earlier, is that you want to capitalize on all the momentum that you could build up leading up to the sweeper. And when he just messed things up leading up to it, that just killed off all of the momentum that he could have utilized to help carry him through that final turn.
Yeah, we asked him why LS Fest. He says, I love Steve Sparkman. Steve? Andrew's confessing his love. He said the opportunity to drive at an amazing facility like Texas Motor Speedway. He said it's a freaking NASCAR track. What more do you want? Come out here drifting in the middle of a NASCAR track. He's rocking a whole bunch of Holley products, Holley EFI, and Terminator X. Looks like he's got a Holley throttle body, all kinds of stuff, plumbing, Earls, fittings. His victory plans, more tires, makes sense. Coming to us from West Palm Beach, Florida.
That's a drive.
Yeah, that's a drive for sure. Here we go. Nice initiation. Let's see if we can get some points on that board. Second inside clip, much better. Straighten out a little bobble, but he's getting points on the board. Whoa, nice angle through that second outer zone. Bobbling around, but he's going to get some points on the board as long as he doesn't spin. Get up for Andrew Rivera. Was a shaky lap, but, hey, he got around there, get some points on the board, and we may see him in the competition later on.
Yeah, it really helped him out that he was able to sort out whatever problems that he was going through going into the last turn. But now he just not only has to work on the consistency, but at the same time trying to smooth it out. All that wavering is just not helping him in the judges' eyes.
Yeah, you can hit him on Instagram at ARIV33 and YouTube at Salvage to Savage. Sorry to cut you off, Ben. I want to make sure we get that little plug in there for these drivers. Looks like we got our next driver in the burnout box over there warming up his tires. I want to thank everybody for joining us out here. This is the Tire Streets Drift Challenge. We want to thank Holley and the Texas Motor Speedway here at 2023 LS Fest, Texas. It's been a phenomenal weather, a phenomenal event. Hopefully you guys are utilizing that Holley trolley. Take some load off your feet. I know. All right, looks like we got our next driver making his way down the straight. Nice initiation. Transition, making his way through that first outer zone. Nice transition, good speed.
Whoa, knocked over that cone. Getting throughout the course, pretty good, pretty decent, but I think just the obvious negative mark was just him knocking over that cone.
Yeah. Folks, we're almost halfway through the qualifying, I believe. We're getting close to there. Once we're done with qualifying, we're going to take a break from the drifting. We'll be back here around 6:30. You guys want to check out the Holley shop over there. They're selling $15 Holley shirts. Want to check them out. Make sure you guys stay hydrated, stay fed. They got a lot of options here, so doing a great job. Keeping everything compact. I like this LS Fest Texas because everything it's right there. This is that driver out now is Reno Patrick. This is his second of two coming to us from OKC. Reno Patrick won, sponsored by Tire Streets, Sparky Built, and South Side Sleds. He says victory plans are just getting to know other companies that would possibly like to work with him and help progress his career. He's been doing a good job this weekend, being very consistent. Nice initiation past that first inside clip. Second inside clip. Nice speed through that first outer zone. Smooth transition into the second outer zone. Back on the throttle as he works his way through that sweeper. Much better job. I think this is a better run than his first one. Give it up for Reno Patrick, coming to us from OKC. You can hit at Reno Patrick 1. And it's a 1991 240SX 5.3 liter. And he's only at about 325 horse. You wouldn't know it because he was driving the hell out of it. It's always important that we reset the track if there's any movement of the cones. The drivers are looking for the track to be the same every time they go out. They can't have any surprises. I mean, they got to focus on throwing their car in the middle of the course, so it's very important. And our track workers are doing a great job making sure the track is dialed in and it's the same every time these drivers go around. So hats off to them.
All right, once that is picked up, we're going to have Arthur Crastens from Garland, Texas.
Wow. Arthur's been doing a great job being consistent through practice. And here he goes. Kind of looks a little slower than he was during practice, but now picking up the speed. Nice, smooth angle transition. Whoa! Really snap it to angle there through that second outer zone. Taking out that inside clip, I believe.
Taking it home with him.
Yeah, he's taking it. Well, there he is.
Go. Oh,
he just pooped it out. It's okay.
Shucks.
Yeah, Arthur Crastens from Garland, Texas, sponsored by Proper Auto Body, AWD Tuning. His Instagram is at Arthur K, but it's spelled a little different. It's at ARTURSK, so you want to hit him up if you're taking pictures. Be sure to tag these drivers. It's always good for these drivers to be able to see their pictures online. We asked him why LS Fest. He said previous power plant was an SR20 DET. That's a huge upgrade. I'll tell you.
I haven't heard that engine in a while.
Yeah. And he said he was struggling to keep the car on track. Now he's LS powered, and I'm sure he's hitting event after event. I asked him anything else. He said, my wife is the best. Thank you for supporting me. Aww. And he said, keep an eye out for his son, Wells, at LS Fest, Texas. 2036, so I guess he's grooming a future pro drifter.
Yeah.
Well, you heard that, Wells. Got to make your dad proud.
Also, I want to remind folks, after this qualifying session, be sure to come on out over to the drift pits, check out some of the cars in person. Some of the drivers actually have some merchandise, so that way you could help fund their program. So, plenty of things, things to see and do around this track.
Yeah, a lot of these drivers trying to develop a program, trying to support their habit by selling shirts and different merchandise. Make your way over the pits. And as I was mentioning earlier, if you want to start drifting and you're trying to get an idea of what to build, the drivers here have a wealth of information and are all more than willing to share with you guys their secrets, their regrets. A lot of them, we got to talk to some of these drivers, and you learn the hard way. Sometimes you can learn from their mistakes and help speed up your transition. If you just want to go grassroots or if you want to go pro, talk to these drivers. They'll help you make that decision. But here we go. Arthur making his way down straight. Nice initiation as he makes his way throughout the course in that Proper Auto Body AWD Nissan 240SX. Nice speed throughout the course. Flicks it into that second outer zone. Back on the throttle through that sweeper. And he's just mashing that throttle. You can tell as that smoke just billows out of the back of that vehicle. And he makes the way off the course. Give it up for Arthur Crastens. Coming to us from Garland, Texas. Good job. At only 400 horsepower, you wouldn't know it because he's driving it like he stole it. We couldn't have asked for better weather, especially after yesterday's event with that lightning in the distance. Our next driver is Brandon Carter from Moore, Oklahoma, sponsored by Simpson, Carter's Engine, Fortune Auto, and Holley. Here we go as he makes that, just engine screaming through that first outer zone. Nice transition in that second outer zone. Looks like he's kind of playing it safe.
Whoa.
Not too much. Took out that inside clip. That's okay. Get some points on the board. That's what counts. He's got one more run to make to see if he can better this one.
Yeah, and I think one of the things he could improve upon just could be a lot faster throughout the course. You did see him struggle to kind of make it past that inner cone that's over at this final turn in the sweeper. And I think if he had more speed, he would have been able to clear it, which much more finesse, I would say.
Yeah, yeah. He's rocking about 450 horsepower. We asked him, hey, what are your victory plans? He said it'd go directly towards his repair and maintenance, and he said he'd buy some fresh socks. And he wanted to make his car less of a turd. I guess that 400 horsepower, I'm sure he wants to get up closer to that 1,000 horsepower mark. So all that money, most of these drivers are going to invest right back in. If you want to hit him up on Instagram, it's Brandon_Drift Riot. Also part of that Drift Riot crew, Drift Riot _official on Instagram. Be sure to tag these drivers. Said his nickname is Brandingo. Wonder where that came from.
Maybe he has a dingo.
A dingo ate my baby.
Yep, maybe so.
Well, looks like he's down there trying to get locked and loaded. In that 92 Nissan S13, LS3 powered. We asked him why LS. He said, my dad is a big LS guy and has been giving him crap for about a decade about running an SR. So he finally decided to listen to his old man, dropping LS in there, and I'm sure he's happy. I don't think he's going to turn back because that motor's been solid, tried and true, run after run. All right, here comes the Brandingo. Nice initiation. Nice speed through that first outside zone. Let's see how he transitions. Looked like he heard you, Ben. Looked like he was a little faster this time.
Yes, indeed, and clears that cone. Like I mentioned earlier, no issues there. Does a better job, but it did seem to kind of struggle towards the exit. But I think he's just trying to wind it down a little early so that way he doesn't put himself in a bad situation exiting the course.
Now give it up for Brandon Carter, a.k.a. Brandingo from Moore, Oklahoma, in that Simpson Carter engine, Fortunato, Holley Performance, Nissan 240SX. Once again, Brandon_Drift Riot or Drift Riot _official on Instagram.
Yep.
Looks
Coming
like
up next, Jack Davis.
Jack Davis in a BMW E36 screaming down the course.
Oh, boy.
Look at the angle and speed. I believe that says Deutschwerks on the side of that vehicle. We'll go with that, I assume. But, man, he is on fire as a rocket ship of a BMW.
So fast.
Nice. Good run.
Very fast. Trying to capitalize, utilize the whole track to his advantage, and he does so. He's able to accomplish it. And just the amount of smoke that was just billowing out of his vehicle. Impressive.
Yeah, he's definitely in it to win it with a first qualifying run like that. I wonder if he'll be able to top his score. Judges are scoring these drivers from 0 to 100. Obviously, 100. The more points, the better. They're going to score both runs. And their driver's going to retain the higher of the two scores, and they'll take that higher score and place them in a bracket. Once all the drivers go, they all have a score. We're going to eliminate all drivers but the top 16. When we go into tandem battle, you'll see first place qualifier going against the 16th, second versus the 15th, and so on. And we'll work our way through that top 16 competition. It's going to be some fierce battles. I can already see how these drivers have been laying down some really nice runs. So you guys want to be back here. Folks want to be back here around 6:30 to see some tandem practice. And then we go into the top 16 competition. And that's where it's really going to get exciting. Some of the things these judges are looking for, they're looking for consistency and angle. They want to make sure if a driver initiates at a certain angle or they're transitioning at angles, don't want to see any bobble. A bobble is It's like you got a lot of angle, then you almost straighten out and back into angle. It's almost like a double initiation sometimes, I guess you could say. But let's see. Here we go. Let's see Davis making his way down straight. He's a good example of snapping an angle just like that. All that angle and into the transition. Full throttle through that sweeper. Man, look at the smoke coming out of the back of Davis's vehicle as he makes his way through that final outer zone. Give it up for Davis in that BMW E36. Great job. I think that's Jake Wise at the start line. Yeah, I could tell the front of that vehicle. We've been watching it all weekend, and this man's been on fire. So you definitely want to keep an eye on this driver. He's been doing a phenomenal job being consistent. Very exciting to watch. A lot of angle, a lot of smoke. Coming to us from Claiborne, Texas. Fortune Auto, Tire Streets, Holley Performance. Nissan 240SX, about 600 horsepower, using every bit of, look at that speed, locking up that front tire, trying to keep the car on point. Nice angle on transition, back on the throttle. Give it up for Jake Wise in that Fortune Auto, Tire Streets, Holley Performance, Nissan 240SX. Man, he's rocking it out there. He says victory plans are to do a really big burnout and use the money for more tires and do more burnouts. Nice. We asked him why LS. He said, LS is the best competition engine platform, bar none. He says it's just so reliable and so simple. He's running hooker headers, Terminator X, all kinds of Holley Performance parts. And he actually has a little bit of advice for those drivers that are looking to get, those people that are actually looking to get into drifting. He said if he had to tell a new person that, or somebody that wants to get into drifting, he said, if you want to start drifting, start on a sim. Get a sim rig and start drifting. It's a lot cheaper, that's for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of these drivers utilize that drift simulator in order to dial in their skills. But here we go. Wow, nice aggressive flick. Jake Wise coming in hard. Nice transition. Whoa. Oh, no.
Whoa.
Oh, bumper there, bumper here, cone there, cone here. Let's see if that bumper's going to hang on. Looks like it's still there. Wow.
What a spectacular way to get through the course.
Yeah, I mean, he's not given, well, I don't want to say that's a family show. But I think you guys know what I'm getting at there. He was just balls to the wall. Very exciting run. You can hit him up at jwise.3. He's got a YouTube channel, Jake Wise Racing. Check him out, Jake Wise Racing. I get a little information probably behind his build, some behind the scenes of. All right, we got Stuart Wilson coming to us from Houston, Texas. He's about ready to make his first qualifying run, sponsored by Artisan Auto Styling, S-Tech, Paint Protection Film, and Renspec. You can hit him up at swilson251 in that Chevy Corvette, about 400 horsepower. I actually got a chance to catch up with Wilson in the pits, and his father was a circle track racer, which inspired his livery. The vehicle is like a deep red. He said that was the same color of his father's car. Unfortunately, his father passing away. He's carrying on his memory in the vehicle. So that vehicle, it's like that deep red wrap that he has on there, and also rocking his father's race number 25. So Stuart Wilson out here throwing down nice, good runs after good runs, trying to make his old man proud. He's rocking race-equipped safety equipment, suit, helmet, harnesses, the works. He's originally from Mobile, Alabama, currently living in Houston, Texas. Let's see how he does on his first qualifying run. He said if he wins, he just used the money to travel to more events. Seems to be the general theme. It's either going into events, tires, or the vehicle.
Or taking their friends out to party.
Or taking their friends out to party. It's not a bad idea. A lot of these drivers utilizing some good friends and family in order to help them at these events. But here we go. Stuart Wilson initiating past that first inside clip. Transition, second inside clip, a little slow. He's got to get on that power. If he can stretch it out, kind of straighten out there before he made his way to that second outer zone. He's going to get some points on the board as long as he can hold it together. Bobbling there. So when I say bobble, you kind of saw that was a good example of a bobble where the vehicle goes to angle, almost straightens out completely, or maybe did straighten out completely. Depends on, it's kind of easier for the judges. They're a little higher up to see, but it's not going to work in your favor. Those are going to be point deductions. But he didn't spin out. He kept the car on course, so he's going to get some points. And hopefully for him, he'll be able to make it in a top 16 competition. You can hit him up, as I mentioned before, S. Wilson 251. Vehicle sponsored by Artisan Auto Styling, S-Tech, Paint Protection Films, and Renspec. It's a 2006 Chevy Corvette LS2 at about 400 horse. He's going to need every bit of that horsepower if he wants to top that first score. And that goes into some of the strategy a lot of these drivers may use in qualifying. Sometimes they may play it safe on their first run, get some points on the board, and then just go balls to the wall the second run. Let's see what happens here as Stuart Wilson makes his way throughout the course. Still a little slow, very shallow angle. One of the quieter cars out here. We need to cut his exhaust off. Just go underneath there and just rip it out.
I'm sure there's plenty of professionals here on hand that could help him out.
Yeah, maybe if you're a sponsor out there and you're thinking that LS is too quiet, maybe you want to get with Stuart Wilson, help him out. We like these cars loud and crazy, not just in their paint schemes, but also in the engines. All right, guys, if you're getting ready to walk away, I want you to stay put because up next, Nate Hamilton, owner of 144 Print House. I say this because the man's been on fire all during practice, and he's one of the most aggressive drivers here. It's going to be really exciting to see not just his qualifying, but watch him battle out. He's been having a lot of great success in the last year.
Very much indeed. The last 4 competitions he's been to, he's been at the podium.
Yeah, here we go. Nice, aggressive, fast initiation. Nice angle. Nate Hamilton flinging it. Look at the speed. Nice. First outer zone transition. Second outer zone. Now he's back on the power. You can see that smoke just billowing out of the back of that vehicle. His little boy, 8-month boy, Indy, I'm sure is out there watching his dad. That's another future drifter in the works, I'm sure. And definitely local. He lives not too far away, maybe 20 minutes from Denton, Texas. Gave us some great recommendations for food and coffee.
Yeah, definitely.
Nate Hamilton, also another driver that has merchandise for sale. So you want to make your way after this session, pick up some Print 144 Print House T-shirts and gear. Help support that program.
And any drivers or anybody out there that's looking to get some merchandise put together, he could help out as well.
Right, he owns a print shop. Here we go. Nate Hamilton, nice initiation. Look at the angle. Flicking into that. Whoa, major bobble there by Nate. Not as pretty as his first run. Still exciting, still fast, but had that major bobble through the midway of the course. But back on throttle, nice angle. Give it up for Nate Hamilton, 144 Print House. Always exciting to watch. And check out his gear in the pits. Another driver that if you're thinking about getting into drifting, or if you are into drifting and you want to know some secrets and everything and maybe some good tips, that'd be a driver to look out for. It's over. All right, folks, I'm getting word that was the last vehicle for qualifying. So we're going to go ahead and take a break from drifting. Be back here about 6:30, and we're going to get into tandem practice. Thank you guys for joining us. Make sure you hit up Holley. They're selling $15 Holley T-shirts. Make sure you hit up the concession, stay hydrated, stay fed. We'll look forward to seeing you guys in a few hours.